What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing here. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, me going over the slime collab rerun part 3 and whether or not you guys should be summoning on the banner or not. In this video, guys, we're gonna be going over the banner format. We're also gonna be going over all the featured characters list, and then talking about the buffs of the original characters and also the new characters that are coming with the collaboration to let you guys know whether or not it's going to be worth summoning. If you guys enjoy videos like this, man, definitely make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We are on the road to that 50,000 subscribers, guys. So if you haven't hit that sub button already, man, what are you guys doing? Definitely make sure to hit it. And yeah, with that out of the way, let's hop in and let's talk the banner format. So in terms of the banner format here, guys, we got a standard 600 banner for this actual collaboration. So at the 300 pity, you're gonna have a guaranteed SSR, which is gonna be split between all the characters on the banner at a 6.25% rate. And in terms of the 600 pity here, guys, you're gonna get the option of picking any of the characters from the collaboration, including the second rerun and also the first run of the collaboration in terms of the characters that came with those. So you have obviously Demon Lord Rimuru Shuna from the second rerun, or from the second run, and then you do also have the original Slime Rimuru, Milim, and Benny Maru from the original collab, and then we obviously have the new characters being Shion and Milim as options to pick at the 600. So yeah, guys, in terms of the filler on the banner, let's actually go over it. So you have obviously Milim and Shion at a 0.5% rate up each, so that means it's going to be a total of 1% rate across both the two new characters. And then for the rest of the characters on the banner, guys, it's going to be a 0.142% chance for the rest of the characters featured. It's going to be split between that exact percent, and obviously, you know, you round down, you round up. But yeah, no, it's going to be about 0.14% chance for the rest of the characters here. And you guys can see they got obviously all the older collab units from the slime collab. You also have LR Liz, you have Nanashi, you have the blue Oslo Hawk, you got blue Miguelda, green Jormungand, and red Thonar. And then you also have blue Denethor Liz, the red Margaret, and then green Oslo and Hawk as well, guys. And in terms of the actual rates for the characters that are only collaborations, let's actually add it up together, guys, and find out the exact total. So we're going to do, obviously 1% is going to be our baseline because we have obviously the Milim and the Shion. So let's actually do 1%, and then we're going to, what is that? So there's 5 characters of 0.14. So let's do, here. So what we'll do, 0.14, and we'll times it by 5. So it's going to be 0.7 plus 1 is going to be 1.7% chance, guys, give or take, right? For any of the characters that you pull as SSRs to be the collab characters. And the reason why that's important is because what you can do as well, and this is not really part of the banner itself, but this is important too, because if you actually go to the coin shop here, you are able to exchange the coins of any of the characters for any of the other characters pretty much, right? So even including, you know, the new Milim and the Shion as well. So if you have 3 copies of like Shuna, the old Rimuru, or the old Milim, you can actually trade them up for the brand new characters. So yeah, and even if you had like all these coins from the old reruns, guys, you can actually trade up now and actually get all the new units without having to even summon if that was the case for you, right? So this is just another option here for the banner, and it gives you some flexibility with your summons. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the banner format right there, man. Let's actually move over to Twitter here with the Sacred Treasure Podcast Twitter, and let's actually talk about the translations for the characters' kits and also the buffs of the original characters as well. Alright, guys, so shout out to Marili as well, because he's the one who actually did these posts. Sacred Treasure Podcast retweeted it, but you know, we usually either tweet out the information on Sacred Treasure Podcast, or we just give shout out to Marili, as you know, he's usually the one like kind of posting the information as well. So we have the new Milim right here, guys. Let's actually go over a kit together and we'll talk about exactly what she's able to do. So for our passive here, Milim Nava, power in another level. At the start of the battle, apply 2 stacks of Dragon's Might and apply Protection of the Dragon for 3 turns. For every Dragon's Might applied to this unit, increase allies' defense-related stats by 20%, and if allies use a skill or a unit gets damaged by enemy skill in the enemy's turn, removes 1 stack of the Dragon's Might. Also, every time Dragon's Might is removed from the unit, increase the unit's all stats by 7%, max of 28%, and if all Dragon's Might is removed, apply the Dragon's Fury for 3 turns, and if Dragon's Fury gets removed, apply 2 stacks of the Dragon Might again. And so pretty much the way the passive is going to work, guys, it just kind of cycles through the passive there, you know, where you get the Dragon's Might, and then you're going to get Dragon's Fury, and then it's going to cycle back to Dragon's Might again. So for Protection of the Dragon, guys, it's going to decrease damage taken from all enemy attacking skills by 40%, and the unit gets stack decreasing debuffs as well, like immunity pretty much. So you get immunity to stat lowering debuffs, and then the Dragon's Might here is going to be when all stacks are removed, apply the Dragon's Fury, you know, buff effect. And then for the actual Dragon's Fury buff effect here, guys, it's going to be 40% attack related stats, ignore 100% of critical resistance, and deal additional damage equal to 40% of the final damage when using all target attacking skills, and this excludes ultimates. And then moving on to the Holy Relic here, guys, we have when using a skill, deals damage with attribute advantage regardless of the attribute. That is very, very strong. And then moving on to the first skill here, guys, we have Heavenly Slash, which is going to inflict annihilate damage equal to 500% of attack to a single enemy. This is going to be 3 times pierce rate and ignore enemy defense, and for every Dragon's Might applied to the unit, it's actually going to increase your crit chance by 50% and damage dealt by 30%. And then moving on to the second skill here, guys, we got Tyrant's Roar. So this is going to inflict storm damage equal to 250% of attack to all enemies. And the actual effect for storm is going to be ×2 critical damage and ignore enemy resistance. And for every Dragon Might applied to the unit, increase the damage dealt by 50%. Now moving on to the ultimate here, guys, we got Drago Nova. Removes all stacks of Dragon's Might and applies Dragon Fury for 3 turns to the unit and inflicts storm damage equal to 525% of attack on all enemies. And then moving on to the passive effect in the ultimate here, guys, this is something that's a reoccurring thing with a lot of like newer characters. But yeah, when the unit is participating in the battle, if an ally dies in the enemy's turn by enemy skill usage, or the enemy dies by a unit skill usage as well, for every unit dead, applies Dragon Rampage for 3 turns up to 6 stacks. So in terms of what the Dragon Rampage is going to do, it's actually going to increase the damage dealt of single target attack skills by 50%, and it also deals additional damage equal to 100% of the enemy's increased HP, and that's not going to be stackable as well. And then damage received from enemies by an enemy turn gets fixed to 1 damage, and every time the unit uses a skill or gets damaged by enemies from the enemy turn, removes 1 stack of this buff. So yeah, guys, that's going to cover Milim right there and her skills. Let's actually move on to Shion now. Alright, guys, so hopping into Shion here, at the start of the battle in PvE, applies Super Regeneration and the Power of War God. For every ally in the battlefield, increase the hero's basic stats by 5% and decrease allies' damage taken by 7%. And if allies use single target attacking skills, increase the hero's attack related stats by 5% up to a maximum of 25. And if a single target is used more than 3 times in 1 turn, applies a buff that increases allies' critical chance by 30% and also critical damage by 50%. So in terms of what the Super Regeneration effect is going to be, it's going to be for every 1% of hero HP loss at the start of the ally's turn, allies' regeneration rate will increase by 2%, and the hero's HP will accumulate up to a maximum of 100,000. And the Power of War God, guys, is going to be at the start of the ally's turn, increases allies' attack by 10% from the accumulated HP of the Super Regeneration effect. So now moving on to the skills here, guys, we have the first skill obviously being just standard Amplify, so damage dealt plus 30% proactive buff on self. The second skill right here is just going to be Power Strike single target as well, so additional damage equal to enemy resistance. And then moving on to the ultimate here, guys, going to increase the hero's basic stats by 50% for 3 turns and inflicts 735% of attack on 1 enemy. And for you guys that are wondering, the Holy Relic for Shion, I don't think really posted the actual post for it, but pretty much what it's going to do, guys, is actually going to cleanse 2 debuffs whenever you actually use 3 skills during that same turn. So it's going to be kind of similar to where she gives the crit chance crit damage. So pretty much just think of it as whenever you're giving that crit chance crit damage, that you're also cleansing your team of 2 debuffs each. Alrighty, guys, now moving on to the other characters from the collaboration, we have Rimuru here. So in terms of what happened with Rimuru here, guys, it's not a lot that actually changed. So if you guys know his base kit already, this is what it is. So obviously you have his standard passive. Now the only thing that actually changed with his passive is that when he increases the hero's pierce rate up to a maximum stack of 140 now, when it originally was 130. So for the infect skill as well, guys, they actually added the flood damage effect to it. So flood is going to be 0.8% additional damage for every % of remaining HP on self, and that's going to also, you know, apply while doing the infect effect as well. And then moving on to the other slime characters as well, guys, you have Shuna here, where what they actually did with her kit is actually gave her 30% damage reduction as well. And then I think on the Holy Relic they changed it to where, yes, you get 40% pierce rate now on the Holy Relic as well, which is pretty good. So for Milim's buff, guys, they only really touched the unique here, but pretty much what the unique actually got now is that it actually increases the hero's crit chance as well as crit damage, whereas before it was only critical damage up to 80%. Now it's actually 40% crit chance and then 80% critical damage. Moving on to Benimaru here, guys, he actually did get an addition to his passive and also his Holy Relic as well, but at the start of the ally's turn, applies a debuff on all enemies that increases their damage taken by 40% for 1 turn. So that's what got changed on his like standard passive. They also increased the damage dealt by 20% now, and it stacks up to 4 times, so that's pretty good. And then for the Holy Relic here, guys, they don't have the percents here correct, but pretty much it's 30% attack related stats and then 30% damage dealt when attacking enemies who are debuffed, which is going to be good as well. And then for the original Slime Rimuru here, guys, he actually did get a very minor buff as well, but they pretty much added some attack-related stats in his passive here. So when the hero receives damage at the start of the battle, increases the hero's attack-related stats by 8%, and then also defense-related stats by 12% up to 4 times. So they pretty much added some extra attack-related there. Nothing super crazy, and yeah, it's pretty minuscule in terms of debuff. We also had some changes to the base stats of the characters as well, guys. So I have it here pulled up on Google Translate so you guys can see all these stats that are actually changed with the, release of the collab again. So a lot of the older characters did get buffs through their stats. So you can see Shuna and Milim right there. Let's actually move on now to, Benimaru and the original Rimuru. So you can see their stats right here, guys. So you can pause the video if you want to see all these stats that change, and you can check to see which one specifically that you want to actually look at. So yeah, guys, that pretty much covers all the information on the characters kits themselves. Let's actually move back to the banner now, and I'm gonna give you guys my final thoughts on whether or not you should be summoning on this collaboration. Alrighty, guys, so now should we be summoning on the slime collab rerun here, guys? In my opinion, I'm gonna say yeah, this is a must summon in my opinion, and this is it's tough to say that, right? Especially when we do have November Fest coming at the end of November. That's gonna be obviously a crazy celebration. That's also when the global sync is happening as well. So you gotta be definitely like very wary with your gems, because you never know, man. The November Fest could be absolutely insane. It might be, you know, the banner that we really need to spend all our gems on. But in terms of this banner right here though, guys, it's hard to miss up. I mean, we also calculated the total percent of all, you know, the actual rate up characters specifically. So it's actually 1.7% rate up because we were including all of these slime characters available. So that's more than half the banner that you're actually getting on your SSRs, which is really good. And then on top of the fact that they still have some good characters in there, like LR Liz, you got Nanashi, you got the Demonic Beast units. You also have Red Margaret as well for like Nidhogg. You have the Green Oslo and Hawk, and he's still like pretty good for defense teams. Blue Denethor Liz is still solid. So like, yeah, overall, I mean, like the filler is not too bad. The actual characters featured as well, like from the actual collaboration, are really good. And yeah, I mean, this is probably not going to come back again. I mean, this is the first time we've had a third rerun. So yeah, I mean, it's tough to say, guys, but I would say definitely summon, at least for Shion, as I think Shion's value is very good. She's pretty much like the equivalent of like you are Thor. So if you guys remember when we got the Thor character, she's pretty much that equivalent, but better because she's actually buffing your whole team. So I think that's like, that alone already makes Shion really, really strong. And then Milim on the PvP side of the game is the best unit in the game right now, guys. I mean, she is just absolutely insane, terrorizing PvP. Just a very, very crazy character. And if you take both those characters together and you run them in PvE, they're going to be absolutely insane. And just owning both of those characters for your account are going to be a really big benefit for you as well. I mean, considering all that, guys, yeah, definitely do think it's worth at least one rotation on the banner. And if you guys haven't seen my how to get 600 plus gems for this banner, it actually is doable to get, above 600 gems for this banner completely free to play, guys. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely do one rotation on the banner, and then from there just save all your gems for the upcoming November Fest. As I think in about 2 weeks from now, I think they did leak that we're going to be getting a Sigurd, which is going to be the second half, but I don't think that's going to be a must summon or anything like that. Definitely not going to be as good as these collab characters as well, because like Shion and Milim, they're super strong for what their niches are. And yeah, I mean, this is a really, really good banner overall. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below, guys, if you're going to be summoning on the slime collaboration rerun. That's going to be it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and we'll see you guys on the next one, man. Peace out. Have a good rest of your day, guys. See you later, man.